Coach, how would you sum up the 90 minutes?
I think we started very well. One thing we did very well was to prevent them from having build-ups from the back, more especially to kill the space for the centre-backs because they are playmakers, which is why we went with two strikers directly to confront the two centre-backs. And that yielded a lot of very good high-pressing moments. The unfortunate part is that we did not create scoring opportunities from those moments when, in essence, the opponents did not even have the right numbers. And it's worse at times, we could not even take each other goal after very good high presses. But again, we knew they've got a lot of diagonal balls targeting their fullbacks, more especially the left back. The one that played today was not the one that we anticipated. We anticipated the young boy that came in second half, because Tele has been very good for them. And their averages are very good on crosses. They're averaging around 15 crosses per match. And for a team that is also not one of the biggest, they are also having very good averages on the number of goals they've scored on set pieces. So we were worried about that space. But I think we dealt with that very well. Second half, we lost a little bit of control of the game. The game started to be scrappy, and they gained momentum in the process, which is why we had to bring in Mngqithi to try and stabilize our midfield and change into a three-man midfield, because at that time they were gaining momentum. And immediately Pitso came in, we regained control of the game, and we lost some very good moments with Peter up top, maybe that final pass not being right, losing possession in wrong areas and opening ourselves for transitions against us. But I must say, the boys gave a good account of themselves. They knew we wanted to go through, and we made it clear to them that we wanted to win this match, because for us, every match we want to win. We did not look at what we got in the previous match, which is normally the case where you say, I've got a goal away from home. I will try and protect that, because this game could have turned differently if we came with that mentality. And even after first half, when we scored 2 goals first half, but still in the second half, we said we want to win the second half. We don't want to play draw in the second half. So let's play to win the second half and forget about the first half, because it was the same message that we wanted even for this return leg, to make sure that we win the encounter, not to hope for the result that we got away from home. And our experience, I think, played a role in that space. I must say Riyad played a very, very good match. Very unfortunate to get injured, because it would have been nice to see him continue as well like others. The two central midfielders, AJ, stood his ground, showed his experience. He was the captain of the team today, and he did not disappoint. For him to get a man of the match award, it was worthwhile. We are happy with that. So I think that is how the game progressed. Unlucky to Arrows, they came with a good game plan. They also strategized to try and make sure that in their fullback, they bring in the other one who is taller, who can compete, who is more defensive based on what we had done against Pasegamako at Pirates. So they had a plan in that space, and we must give credit to that. But unfortunately, when you concede 2 early goals against Sundowns, it becomes very difficult.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Tashrik, you live?
Thanks, Fatu. Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the victory. And at the start of the MTN8 campaign, you spoke very passionately about, wanting to end that 14-year drought. You're now 90 minutes away from securing that first MTN8 title for Mamelodi Sundowns. And the second question is, I want to find out...
Patrick, let's limit it to one so we can give others a chance. We'll come back to you if there's still time.
Okay, thanks, Fatu.
What was the question?
You're in the final, you're 90 minutes away from achieving the MTN8 after such a long time.
Yeah, it's our target. It's probably a message was very clear from the beginning from all of us as the coaches that this crop of players must also make their own legacy. They've got a responsibility to others, the MTN8 might not be that prestigious trophy, but to us and the new generation, it's very important to say we won the MTN8 Cup that was elusive for over so many years. I think 14 years, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So it was very important for our players to come into this match with a mentality to know that we must book a place in the final. And when we are in the final, at that time, we'll be talking about making sure that the legacy that they must create for themselves. The team has won every other trophy, but we have not won the MTN8 from 2007. So it was very important for us as coaches, and everybody else within the team is hungry for this one. And we want to tread carefully and keep our feet on the ground and focus as much as we can and not lose focus at any given stage. To others, even today, they would say we lost focus because the team changed too much from the previous match, and that was not our plan. We lost a lot of players from the previous match. We lost Musa Lebusa, we lost Dennis Onyango, and we had to try and find solutions and come up with better strategies to improve and make sure that we've got better performance. We also lost Rivaldo Kutsia, and that is why we had to come with a team that we came with. But otherwise, we would have been very conservative to make sure that we don't lose track of what we want to achieve. But credit must be given to our boys. I think they gave a good account of themselves.
Mngqithi, you're up next. One question, please.
Good evening, Coach, and to colleagues. Coach, I just want to check something here. The fact that you guys have not won this tournament for such a long time, aren't you maybe sort of concerned that unintentionally the players may have a sense of desperation of saying we want to win it at all costs? And how do you deal with that? To sort of the players must not be desperate to win it because it has not been won in such a long time.
We are always very wary of that space. Even today, we spoke a lot about anxiety. We spoke a lot about humility, spoke a lot about focus, because it is very important for us not to be all over and try to make sure that we stick to our tactical agreements. Everything that we put from training, we try to translate into the match, which I think they have done very well from the beginning of the season in that space. So yes, obviously, anxiety and desperation can always make you to make a lot of mistakes. So we are trying our level best to have a team that is more focused and knowing that we want to give it our best shot and make sure that we don't make too many mistakes. And so far, so good.
Okay, up next, Samgelo.
Thank you, Fatsu. Just, Coach, congratulations today, but another clean sheet. Just how proud of you are you of your defense?
To be honest, a lot of the time we give credit to the last line and the goalkeepers for the clean sheets that we get. But the truth of the matter is it's a collective effort. If you check the amount of work that Peter does up top, you check the amount of work that Pavol does up top to make sure that opponents are disrupted from their passing patterns and make sure that they don't play the way they wanted to play. We always force them to do the opposite of what we have profiled in their matches that they've played. And when we keep a clean sheet as a team, we know it's one of our objectives in any competition to make sure that we keep as many clean sheets as possible. But we have learned to give credit to everyone because our midfield in counter-pressing, our strikers in the high press and counter-pressing, they play a very big role in trying to minimize the risk and the exposure of our last line in terms of the mistakes that they can end up doing, because a lot of the time the game is played in the opposition half, and because it's played in the opposition half, the first line and the second line becomes very important in making sure that you are not exposed. And when we get a clean sheet, we've come to an understanding that it's a collective effort. It's not only just the defense and the goalkeepers. And as the team, we are very happy in that space.
Tsepang, you live?
Coach Tsepang Sokala Duma, just wanted to ask you the decision behind, giving Andile Jali the armband today and just his overall performance as the captain today.
Yeah, to be honest, it was not a very easy decision. We had too many candidates for the captain's armband, but we felt we needed a soldier-like mentality today, somebody who can push the team, because it was important for us to go into this match with an attitude to want to compete and win. And there was no better person in that space to make sure that he galvanizes the team, he gives the team the energy to push all the way. And he did that very well. And we were very excited to see him performing the way he performed as a captain. But in our team, we've got too many people that have been captains. We considered Peter, we considered Mngqithi, we considered Kekana, we considered Roshin Deruk, we considered Kudumela, but we felt AJ might be the right person in the right position to make sure that in that area, he takes leadership, because it's an area that we had lost River, who's always in that space, and we had Hesh, who is a youngster next to him, to make sure that the team has got a little bit of a balance in that space. And I must be honest, I think it played very well. And credit must be given to the decision of the technical team in that space.
Okay, quickly now, Nati.
All right, yeah, thank you so much, and congratulations, coach. Realistically, looking at the way you are playing, because you don't just win games, you win games also, I mean, at the same time you dominate. Is Mamelodi Sundowns unbeatable at this stage?
He says, is Mamelodi Sundowns unbeatable at this stage?
I wouldn't say so. In football, anything is possible. That's why we have to keep our humility and stay focused, because sometimes good results will make you to lose your mind and start thinking that you are invincible, and that you get pleasantly surprised when opponents, and probably a team that nobody even anticipated can beat you, comes and beat you. That is why we always have to stay focused. And I want to give credit to Coach Steve, Coach Ulani, Coach Wendell in that space, in making sure that everybody is always focused. From the goalkeeping department, Wendell is doing a very good job to have 4 goalkeepers who are competing at the highest level, who are always focused. And Coach Steve, Coach Ulane, the impact they have in leading this team and making sure that we succeed, it's very important, because it's easy to start thinking now we are invincible, and immediately we get punished. So we do not want to take our eyes off the process that we have, and that process is more important than anything else for us.
Temba Shabalala, quickly. Temba, are you there? Okay, let's move back to Tashrik. Quick one, straight to the point, please.
Thanks, Fatu. Hi, Coach. I just wanted to find out the 3 goals that you guys scored this evening. It was direct involvement of your goalkeepers. Seems as though that you guys did your homework on the golden arrow defense from deep onwards. Was that the plan from the get-go? Thanks.
We were just fortunate, to be honest, that some of the work that we do in training comes out the way we had anticipated, because unfortunately against Riyadh, not many people know how good he is with his feet, and he was very influential in our build-ups. Then when he got injured, now you've got Ricardo Goz, who is also known, very good technically, and they played a very big role in creating moments, probably sometimes out of nothing, and we find ourselves in positions of scoring, and we can't help but get excited when our boys are showing their quality and they are not anxious, maybe, which at times causes them to make unnecessary mistakes. And for the 2 goalkeepers that have not been playing regularly to perform the way they performed, it's exciting, because it tells us about the depth that we have, and it's encouraging to the whole team.
Okay, last question, Spiwe, quickly as well.
Thank you, Fatu. I hope this question hasn't been asked, Coach. Safranco was given 90 minutes today. Was that the plan, and thoughts on his performance? Thank you.
Yeah, the plan was to give him 90 minutes, because we are trying to kill the anxiety and the willingness to try and show what he's capable of. And to be honest, in establishing play from him, I think he did very well in that space. There were a few moments where we felt maybe he was too busy, where he could have just stayed in a position and wait for the ball to come into those areas. but he moved a lot to try and get to the ball side, which did not help that much, more especially first half. But I think he had a very solid second half. Established play very well. We came from him in many instances where we could have easily, with better decision making, maybe from Caston, from Kutu, from Neo, we could have easily created better opportunities from establishing play from him. I think he's coming up well. We are happy with the progress he's making because we are sure he's still going to score goals for us.